Hello beautiful yogis, welcome to my channel Theodora's Pathos, and today we are going to take a really chill out kind of yoga practice. Now we will start with some breath work. I have a block to help me prop up my posture, because I find if I sit for too long doing breath work I can kind of slouch a little. So if you don't have a block, it doesn't matter, you can find a cushion, a book, or alternatively you can kneel. So just come up onto something at the very least. Or also, if you have a wall that is close to you, just to keep your spine upright. This will help to keep your posture tall, which opens up your airways, keeps your chest open, your diaphragm is open, the belly is open, so you're able to take in more air. And the most important part is that you have a nice, strong, open connection from brain to your spinal column. That is your, I like to call that your Wi-Fi system. You want a nice clear line through your Wi-Fi system. All right, let's begin. So if you need to grab a prop, pause the video and come back. Now, palms face up for receiving, palms face down for a little bit more of an internal practice. So once you are seated, and again, if you have tight hips, you might prefer to be kneeling or have the legs extended out, or even alternatively, you can lie down on the floor. I don't want to give you too many options because then it can get confusing. So if you're really tight with the hips, it is going to be really challenging to relax into that practice of breath work. As things open up, over time that will get easier, but let's find a position that works for you. That's always the main focus. Once you are there, find your position with your hands that feels comfortable to you. Close your eyes. So we're drawing our attention inward, and we are going to breathe in through the nose. And again, breathe out through the nose. Breathe in through the nose. And breathe out again. Now, as you continue to breathe, start to take notice of what your shoulders are doing. If you notice them rising up and falling down with your breath more than you are feeling this across your lower ribs, then you want to deepen the breath. You want to relax the shoulders. Good. So the inhale is your inspiration. So breathe out deeply, and your exhale is where you're releasing old, stagnant energy, stresses and worries. Good. I'm going to take just a few more breaths here. So cleansing, purifying on the way in, releasing and detoxifying on the way out. Take 3 more breaths. And breathe it in. Breathe it out. Last one. And let it go. All right, keep your eyes closed. Just take a little moment here to ground yourself, which is just really to get present in your body, in where you are and what you are doing, so that your mind is not racing off into a million different directions. And even if it is, you just come back to where you are and slow down that heartbeat. Okay, one more breath. Just your normal breath in, normal breath out. Okay, so open the eyes. It's a nice little grounding tool, especially if you get really busy and distracted. Just take a few breaths, close your eyes, switch off the outside world, and come into the very moment where you are. So today is going to be a very chill practice. Take any props out from underneath you. We're going to start by lying down on the back. We're going to shake the legs out of any tension from sitting down. So I like to wave my feet side to side as much as I can to get right into the hip joints. Good. And muscles, switching them on. Sometimes they can be lazy. Alright, so once you have shaked out your legs, let's do the same with our arms. So shake out your hands. Good. Maybe turn the wrists side to side, circling around. Good. And then relax into your Shavasana position. Okay, take one more breath here. And then we're going to bring the arms up over the head. Interlace your fingers. Now if you find a better word to use for this, I like to use interlace, but sometimes it doesn't always register for most people. So flip the palms to face away from you. If there is back discomfort as you do this, bend your knees and press the lower back into the mat. Otherwise, long extension with your legs. Stretch it out here. Keep the head in line with your spine, so just tuck the chin in a little. And give your body, your hands, your wrists, your forearms, even the armpits, a nice big stretch out. So you can wriggle a little side to side. Stay with the breath. Moving your hips. Good, and gently release those arms down by your side. Let's bend the knees. Bring your knees towards your chest, hug them in. Lower back, pressing into the floor. Now you can rock side to side here a few times. And if it doesn't feel good for your back, just hold your position. A few more breaths. Keeping that lower back pressed into the mat. Nice work. Okay, now we are going to do a spinal twist, but you are going to use one of your props. Again, if you don't have props, it doesn't matter. So if you have a block or a book or a cushion, place it between your thighs. Arms will extend out shoulder height. Palms face up. This will help to open up your shoulders. Bring your knees towards your belly, and as you exhale, drop them over to one side and turn your head in the opposite direction. Now, if there's any shoulder pain, feel free to drop the arm down. If there's neck pain, then just look to a position that there's no discomfort. Okay, so when you first come into a pose, there can be some tightness, some tension, maybe some shooting energy that you might feel. Use your discernment, whether it's just tightness you're feeling or if there's pain. Now, if there's pain, please adjust. If there's just tightness, breathe through it and it will release. So understanding your body language and having body awareness will really help in not only your practice, but also in managing injuries, in preventing injuries, and just knowing your limits with your movements. And relax into your spinal twist. Especially if you have that back tension, sciatic discomfort, or just feel a little stiff in the upper spine. This will help to open up and lengthen those muscles. Let's Take one more breath here. Take your time. Breathe in, bring everything back to center. You can keep your feet on the ground if there's any back discomfort. And then when you're ready, let's drop the knees over to the other side. Exhaling. Good. Again, if you're able to, palms face up. And the prop is there just to help keep your hips in a certain position. Again, as I mentioned, it's not necessary to have a prop, it is just a variation. You will still gain benefits with or without the props. Relax muscle tension, especially if you're someone who clenches their teeth. Good. Continue to relax in your body. Take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, take your time, bring your knees back to center. Remove any props if you are using them. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And again, we are either going to hold the pose or rock side to side. Alright, on your next breath in, let's rock up onto all fours for your cat-cows next. So with cat-cows, what I find is a lot of people always, I shouldn't say always, place their weight onto the wrist, which over time that can really hurt your wrists and weaken them. So spread your fingers wide, press all the fingers and palms firmly down, and just begin your movement. Might feel really uncomfortable when you first start activating different muscles, but over time you will actually feel stronger. And as you come into more hand-bearing poses like your downward facing dog, you'll find that it will help. It's just that we are so seated based, we use our hands for keyboard and typing, and it's just overuse now, so we want to strengthen the joints, especially of the wrists. Okay, so breathing in, lifting up, and tucking the chin in. Move the shoulders, move your hips and move your tailbone. One of the best poses to help loosen up your back and connect you with your breath and your movement. Okay, 2 more rounds. And once you're done, we're going to come face down onto the mat. Now, those of you with any back discomfort, what I would suggest is take your legs a little wider so you've got a bit more support, and regardless you are going to contract your buttocks, so that way you are lengthening the spine, not switching it off and sticking your bum out, so that will help to keep your spine neutral. If you feel okay, you can keep your legs a bit closer together. You will notice a difference. So your hands, as you can see, are by my chest. Elbows are in. Now, I know some of you will have some wrist discomfort, so it might be better to bring the forearms down. We're going to come into a Cobra position. So find the leg position that works for you. contract your buttocks. We're going to take a nice big deep breath in, and as we do so, press the floor away and lift the head, lift the heart, and breathe. So if your forearms are on the ground, again, you're pressing the floor away, you are not collapsing in, and you want to find a position that you can lengthen. So we are focusing on strengthening the back of the body, lengthening the front of the body, and helping with digestion, with pelvic discomfort and reproductive organs. Breathe. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, keep contracting your buttocks. If you find this is too much, just lower the chest down. We have 3 more breaths. And once you complete, slowly release. We're going to sit back into child's pose. So I like to keep my knees a little bit wider. Allows my hips to feel good. Maybe you might prefer to have the knees closer. If you're not able to place the head onto the mat, feel free to either use a prop or use your hands. Now what I found is that some people's ankles are tight and sitting back is just too intense. So if that is the case, just come up a little higher and just let your head drop down. And there's always a modification, so don't get too caught up. The aim is to relax here. So you're going to relax, so find a position that feels good for you. Drop the shoulders. Drop your body down. And breathe. Keep lengthening your tailbone back towards your heels. And lengthening your spine. You're going to take one more breath here. And slowly roll your spine up. You're going to do some body rolls. So bring your knees a little bit closer back into alignment with your hips. Toes tucked under, and we're going to swing those hips around. So coming into somewhat of a plank and circling around. Just about 3 circles each way. If it feels good, feel free to do a few more. Just loosening up that midsection, the lower back and the hips. Okay. Alright, once you're done, roll back down onto your tummy. Head will rest onto the hands, or you can rest them onto the mat, doesn't matter. Take your knees wide. Big toes. The soles of the feet are touching. And you're going to press the pubic bone down, so you want to feel as though there is little space between your pelvic floor and the mat. Again, just as we did in your Cobra / Sphinx pose, we don't want the butt lifting because that puts a lot of pressure on the lower back. So keep that bum down and lower the feet towards the mat. And hold your position where it feels comfortable enough for you to maintain and you're still feeling a good stretch here. Continue to breathe. And just allow the hips to open up in their own time. If it gets too much for you and you would like a rest, just bring the feet back up to position and then release back down. When you first start yoga and you are holding poses, it can be quite foreign to your body, especially if you're used to training in a gym and your movements are quite quick and constant. So holding can be really foreign and quite challenging when you first start, and then it begins to get easier. So I'm saying that because muscle memory will be used to really contracting, relaxing, and firing up all the time. So be patient with yourself as you begin your practice and start to do things differently. Three more breaths. And once you're done, just straighten the legs out to the side, flex your feet and relax here. A variation of crocodile pose. Just complete relax, you're not working anything here. Okay, one more breath. Well done. Okay, bring your legs back onto the mat. We're going to do one more child's pose with a slight variation. So sit your hips back again to the variation that works for you. This time your arms will extend forward nice and long. Keep your head off the mat just for the moment. So take a nice big deep breath in. Walk the hands forward, and as you exhale, walk them over or slide them over to your side. Now if you're over to the right, you're going to focus on the left side of the body stretching. If your arms are over to the left, you're going to focus on the right side of the body stretching. Now let your head rest onto either of your arms and drop both shoulders down. Take 3 more breaths. Keep in mind, the further around your arms that doesn't necessarily mean it's a better stretch. It's dependent on that internal lengthening. So you are also pressing the tailbone back and allowing the ribs to expand as you inhale. So if you imagine fish gills, they open up. It's sort of what we're doing here with the side of your ribs. On your next inhale, let's bring them forward again, back to the center. And as you exhale, walk them or slide them over to the other side. Relax the shoulder. Breathe. You've got to breathe. That's the most important factor of any yoga practice. Not the physicality, it's not your flexibility, it's not your strength, it's the ability to breathe when you are feeling discomfort. Can you breathe through it? Okay, one more breath here. And once you're done, inhale, roll it back to center. We're going to do a few shoulder rolls. So walk your hands back towards you. If you're able to kneel, stay kneeling, and we're going to do some shoulder rolls. Now you can do this with your arms bent, as I have them, or you can do them with arms hanging down. Just circle around. Continue to breathe. So both directions. Once you've done maybe about 5-7 circles one way, change the other way. Now if you have bursitis or shoulder injuries, just be mindful to go a little bit smaller with your movements. Okay, we're going to come back onto our backs one more time. Bring your knees towards your chest, just hug them in, lengthening your back here. And then when you feel ready, knees out towards your armpits. We're going to come into happy baby. So you can grab the big toes with your index and middle finger. You can grab the soles of your feet. You can grab the ankles, the shin bones, the backs of the legs, or alternatively place the hands on top of the shins where they meet the knees. And we're going to rock side to side here. Keep your head down. If you notice the head is lifting, because your back's tight, grab your prop if you have one, place it underneath your head, and that will help you with that spinal position. Okay, so this should feel relaxing to some level. Again, that will just depend on your tightness. Again, so any variation of happy baby. I'm just holding now with the knees and the shins, but again, you can have the legs up. That is a little bit more intense. As the back releases, your legs will come up more easily. Okay. Gently bring yourself back to center. Shake those legs out from underneath you. That's it. Just as we did at the beginning of the practice, give the legs and arms a shake out. Scrunch your hands up into a fist, spread them wide. Do this a few times. So scrunch up into a ball, spread them, scrunch wide, scrunch wide. All right, take a nice big deep breath in. Breathe it out through the mouth. Let's do that one more time. And let it go. Okay, you've come to the end of your practice with me today. Now feel free to stay here and just let everything recalibrate. Help to balance out your nervous system, help to balance out left and right side of the brain and your energy centers. And just take a few moments to just be. Let your breath and your movement really be integrated here as you lie down. You might do this practice once, you might do this practice 10 times, and it will feel different every single time you do it, because you are not the same person. Your emotions, your actions and thoughts are all different every single day. So stay here for as long as you like, and until we meet again, thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful morning, day or evening wherever you are in the world. And always remember, you are amazing, you are enough, and you are divine. Keep shining your light bright. Thank you, and namaste.